Castle Rock Season 2, Episode 4, Restore Hope. I watched this yesterday, but I couldn't get to it to review it or discuss it or whatever you want to call this. So here we are. And so this opening takes place during the Black Hawk Down events from the movie with Ridley Scott. The actual events from what that movie's based on, this actually happens in the opening of this, which I thought was cool because I fucking love that movie. That is a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Anyways, moving on from there, obviously Pops shot their parents. Her mom, I said parents, but mom, this is of no surprise. I don't think anyone would be surprised by that. I would be surprised if anyone was surprised. It's very obvious that Pops killed or did something to their parents to where he had to adopt them as a debt, as he calls it in this. So if that was surprising to anybody, I can't even believe they even bothered showing his face or like a big reveal, because it was like, well, yeah, obviously. Why else would he be doing this? Anyways, so then we have the Chance confronting Annie sequence, which I really like, because even though Chance is in there, breaking in, and then Annie comes in on her, Chance doesn't try to defend anything or cower or anything. She comes right at her. She just is you tried to kill your daughter. Fuck you. And that really sold me on Chance's character. I like that she's a strong young girl and she has convictions. And I dig her. And Annie, man, Annie's very light in this episode. She's not on screen much. She's kind of pushed to the background of this episode. This is more of Nadia and Pop's episode for sure. Which is fine. I mean, we don't need to focus on Annie the entire time by any means. Now, I do feel bad because Annie is only going to get worse. And that's because when she goes to confront Nadia on finding out that Joy's living at her house, she gives her a leave of absence or outright fires her or whatever from the hospital. And so now she can't go into the hospital to steal meds, and her prescription is not going to be filled. So, she's only going to get worse and worse. So, and then she tries to go to her house, and Abdi's there, and he's like, get the fuck out of here. Just puts a gun in her face right away. This dude is not taking shit from nobody because he's the captain now, and she should know it. And then Ace is he's just giving in to his death sentence, essentially. And I think this is just because of the guilt that he feels, and he's just tired of carrying it around with him. So he burns the letter, screw it. I don't have the guts to tell her. I'm just going to die and be done with it. Then I don't have to deal with any of this shit anymore. I don't have to live with this secret anymore. I'm done. I'll have a wake, this little Irish wake, a little living funeral, and I'll just try to drink it away until I die. And then I'll be at peace. But of course that ends up backfiring, like it always does. And then, so Joy gets the lockbox, she opens it up, and inside she finds the license plates and the guns, which we already knew were in there, but she also finds a CD with a date on it, which who knows what that date is. It looks, we'll see what that is, but it is the Ravening Angel when she puts it in there, which is the title of the box that she has in the opening of episode 1. Now, I have a theory. This is a wild theory, but I really like it, and I was genuinely giving myself a pat on the back when I came up with it. So, Annie Wilkes, as we know her in the novel Misery, is a gigantic Paul Sheldon fan, right? She's a big fan of his novels. This is a novel that's on this disc. We keep seeing this man that she killed who is probably Joy's father, right? So, what if, in this version of events, Annie was married to Paul Sheldon, and Paul Sheldon was either A, writing a series of novels, and then when she got obsessed with them, maybe that's why she ended up marrying him, because she was into his writing when he first started, And when he went to kill off a character she loved, she read the book, freaked out, and killed him over it, and then buried the evidence. Took the book and was like, nope, no one's ever going to see this. Now, why wouldn't she just break the disc if that's true? Or maybe it was his first novel, and inside the book were things that were pertaining to her. She was clearly the source material for it, and she didn't like it, so she killed him. I don't know. When I thought of, it's a novel, Paul Sheldon's a novel writer, we don't know who the dad is. What if the dad is Paul Sheldon? What if she was married to Paul Sheldon? That would be a serious twist of events here as far as the Annie Wilkes character. So that's like my way out there theory. But I don't even think it's that way out there. I don't know. What do you guys think? I really like that theory a lot. That's like one of the... I don't usually do theories all that much, but when I came up with that one, I genuinely was like, all right. I don't know. Maybe everyone's saying that. I have no idea. I haven't really watched anything pertaining to this show yet. But I can tell you, this episode, and all three of the previous episodes for sure, but for some reason, this episode got me so on board with this season. I just think this episode is so damn good. And everything connecting to the previous three episodes just really makes this season so far solid as all hell. And at this point, I'm honestly more into this season than I was last season. And I was really into last season by this point, but I'm really, really into this one. There's lots of great drama. There's lots of great mysteries. There's stuff floating around. So anyways. All right. So yeah, Pops has accepted his death. He's just going to go. And I think, yeah, he's tired of keeping the secret, whatever. But I do think whatever is in that goo, that substance, whatever, that's brought back Ace, and it's brought back the real estate agent, and it's brought back Abdi's dude, and it brought back the cop and all that. They had horrible wounds, some of them, and they healed overnight. So I do think that Pops is either going to be tempted with this cure for his illness. He's a very ill man, and this thing can restore and rejuvenate and outright fix disease or death. If it can fix death and like head trauma like that, it can definitely cure cancer. So now, of course, you won't be yourself, because there's plenty to suggest that Ace is not Ace anymore. He's watching videos of his past as almost research of either how to act like a human or trying to get some memories. But he has to have something in there that's still him. So I don't know if that's just an attempt to try to mimic Ace's personality from what he's seen, or if he's trying to gain information. I don't know what that is, but also he can now speak French. Now, we don't know if he could speak French before this, but I doubt it. But the names on the coffins in the beginning of the second episode, the name that we see on there is French. So it stands to reason that, of course, when he gets into his little monologue there at the end, telling his brother about the settlers of the past 400 years ago, these Satanists or witches or whatever the hell you want to call them that came there, that's obviously who's buried. And they've leaked their essence into Ace, and now they're spreading, and I think it's strategic. I think that there's some people, it was just kind of wrong place wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. Like that dude who came into the house. But he's a strong man. Now, that's what I'm saying by strategic. Like, he's somebody who's an influencer. He's somebody who can go around and knock doors in and kick people's asses. So he's worth keeping around. But the two homeless vagrants that were living in the house, they have no social standing. They have nothing to bring to the table. So burn them. And the fact that they burned their bodies like witches would further be proof of the witchcraft. Maybe that they didn't take, or maybe, I don't know. But they got rid of them and they've kept everyone else. And they're the lowest social class. And they take a cop, they take a congresswoman, they take a real estate agent, they take a bartender. These are very important people in a small town. A bartender knows all the locals. A cop enforces the law. A congresswoman has power over, policies and the town generally. So, and then of course you've got a cop who's the law enforcement. So every pick that they have seems to be strategic. Now, a young kid on the bike, I don't know if they're going to turn him. I would suppose. I can't imagine why they'd be killing him. I think that they're just trying to round up souls to put however many settlers there were in the beginning, or if that's what you want to call them, founders of the town of New Jerusalem. Whoever that was, maybe there was 20 of them, so they need 20 people, and they're picking the 20 most influential people. Maybe they need the party kid, the kid who goes and gets the beer for everyone, the cool kid. So he's the kid that can get all the kids' votes if you're going to go like political here. Like if you were trying to go after votes, you would target, people who could speak to a certain demographic. And so that kid seems to be the cool kid rounding up booze. That would make sense on why he'd be the kid they would choose. So, I don't know. It all seems very strategic, the people that they're getting. And of course the house. I mean, the real estate agent, they need that house. She's the real estate agent for that house. So they turn her, and then she's on their side for them to do something with the house undisturbed. So as I said, it's all strategic who they have set up there, which is great shit. And then Nadia finds out. I feel so bad for her, for him and her. Like, it's just an impossible situation. Should he have told her? I mean, yes, I guess so. The honesty is the best policy, right? But he tries to make up for it. He really does the best to his abilities. It wasn't his fault. There's a woman running at them with an assault rifle. Anyone would have shot her. That's just reality. Yes, it was at her side, but they kept telling her, stand down, stand down. In a situation like that, where freaking Black Hawk Down just happened and all that stuff, man, they would be they'd be at the ready the whole damn time. So I feel horrible for Pops. And the way that Tim Robbins sells his character, man, what fantastic acting. He's like embodying his character a little bit that he plays in Mystic River. Even though in Mystic River he's a little more odd, there's a few characters that he's played that, God, he's so good. He's so damn good, and he's so great in this. And then, yeah, we get Pastor Drew in here from season 1, so they're starting to really connect to season 1. We got the notes from Shawshank and between Alan Pangborn and the warden there, Dale Lacey, right? Isn't that the name? So does Pops know about the kid? And does he know that the kid is still being held in the prison by Henry Deaver? And will that play in because there was something in the town corrupting the boy there? So will that play into this? Will we see the boy? Will there be a connection to that? I mean, why put those letters in there from those specific people if you're not going to? Is that going to be the only connection? Is just a subtle nod? Like, oh, Pops was in communication, or at least has letters, I would assume. Those are letters to him from the aforementioned names. So it's got to connect to the boy in some way. I just don't know if we'll get there in the story or if that was the connection we're getting. So that remains to be seen, but there you go. I also kind of coincidentally noticed that the people who have been changed seem to have a liking for eggs. That one dude the Abdi's strongman, the enforcer guy, he cracks open an egg and eats it raw. And then the real estate chick is sitting at the bar eating pickled eggs. I don't know if there's any connection to that. I don't know if, I don't know. I don't know exactly what to say for that, but I just thought it was very odd that they're all, not all, but a couple of them are eating eggs specifically. So, that is what it is. I've never had a pickled egg. You ever had a pickled egg? I've never had one. Wonder what it would taste like. I don't even honestly know how many pickled things I've had besides pickles. And why are pickles not called pickled cucumbers? You ever wondered that? Because I sure shit do. Why is everything else pickled that, but then pickled cucumbers are just pickles? That just trips me out, man. No one ever asks the good questions. All right, moving on. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So Ace's brother is turned because Pastor Drew has been turned and kills him. So he's brought in, yet another very strategic move. This dude is he's a freaking priest at like one of the main churches in town. He's going to be the voice to all of the people in his church. And it's a parish, isn't that what those are? I don't know. But yeah, so it has to be. It's too coincidental that all of these people are perfectly strategic. Nobody's a nobody. Everybody has a very significant role they can play. So they're setting up a takeover. They want this town back. This town is theirs. That's what Ace just pretty much outright says to his brother. So they want their land back. And that's what they're going to do. And at first right now, because they're small, they're going to go and get key people. And that's how you take over a town. So I'm really looking forward to the next episode. What do you guys think about my theories? What do you think about pickles being called pickle? All right, maybe not that one, but let me know. Adios.